I scaled my video agency from 5K a month to 30K a month in a matter of 5 months. And I want to tell you the story of exactly how I did it. The real, raw, unedited story of what it actually takes to build a profitable business that you love. A profitable video agency that you don't feel a slave to. An agency that has high profit margins that allows you to work less, do what you love, and do it predictably. I wanted to make this video because I'm sure a lot of you are probably in a difficult spot right now, or you're just in a spot of complacency. Maybe you're at a standstill with your agency and you're having a hard time figuring out how to scale. And so I wanted to share with you the timeline of what I did from when I graduated high school, because I'm 25 now, all the way up until now, in order to actually get these results. Because disclaimer, it's not easy. If it was, everybody would be doing it, right? We all know the cliche. It's so true though. This is what it actually takes. So let's start this journey by going back about 8 years. Back when I was in high school, I was 18 years old. I was really lazy. I didn't know what I wanted to do. I graduated with a 2.0 GPA. I averaged D's in most of my classes. Maybe if I got a C, my parents were really happy. I just didn't care. I'd like to think that I didn't do well in school because I thought I was too cool for school, or because I wanted to start a business, or all these other reasons that most gurus and entrepreneurs talk about. In reality, I was just lazy. I just didn't care, right? I didn't actually work or have a good work ethic. I just kind of cruised through life. My parents were both very successful. I was afforded a very comfortable life. I'm not going to say that I went from rags to riches, because I didn't. I had a comfortable life, but having a comfortable life hurt me more than it helped me. I became complacent. And while my father did a great job at building me up to the man that I am today, that self-development didn't really come in until later in my story. Now in 2016, when I graduated high school, the day I got my diploma, I immediately hopped in a car. We packed up all of our things from my small town in Ohio where I grew up, and we moved out to Las Vegas so I could help my father build the family business. The family business was called Apocalypse Vegas. It was a big entertainment company right off of the strip. And basically it was run by a bunch of former special ops guys, and any civilian could get a ticket to come through, and they would get airsoft guns. They would get trained up by these guys, and then they'd go into this big, almost Universal Hollywood Studios type movie set of all these big homes and wrecked cars and $250,000 in special effects and live zombie actors. And basically they would go through, shoot them up, find the cure to the virus, save the world, right? A big adrenaline rush experience put together by some real American heroes. So I went out and I started selling tickets at the front counter. I really took that time to figure out what did I actually want to do, because I had no idea. I didn't know who I was. Still don't really know who I am. But after taking a year off, working really close with my father, learning a ton about business, I decided to go to college at UNLV with a major in entrepreneurship, which now that I think about it, is really kind of an oxymoron, because like, why would you go to college to get a degree in how to build your own business? College doesn't teach you how to build a business. It teaches you how to get a job and be a good worker. But anyway, that's one of the biggest reasons I dropped out. So yeah, fast forward a year into college, I dropped out. I didn't go back. Personally, I think that college is a scam, and that's why I decided not to pursue it. I wanted to do my own thing in the real world. So right after that, I got a job to work for Black Rifle Coffee out in San Antonio, Texas. This was in 2019. I moved out and I lived on a ranch for 4 months all by myself. I moved out with my dog. I didn't know anybody there, brand new business, lived on a ranch in the middle of 3,000 acres of land. And I will tell you, it was one of the most uncomfortable experiences of my life. I had no friends there. I didn't know a single person. I was stepping out of my comfort zone to do a job as a lead videographer for a massive corporation, and I had no idea what I was doing. But during that time, I learned so much about the marketing space, about content creation, building brands. And then in 2020, I got a job opportunity to work as a media director for a company out in Sacramento, California that manufactured wood pellets for smokers. I know, it was exciting. So I made a bunch of content to sell these wood pellets, right? I ended up getting paid more money, and they bought me some fancy gear. That was the reason I left the company. That lasted for probably a hot 5 months, and then COVID hit and I lost my job. Ironically enough, a week before COVID hit and they let me go, I was on the phone with my father, who is my biggest mentor. And I was telling him how I was done working a job as a W-2 employee and I wanted to take the leap as an entrepreneur and start my own business. But then he told me on the phone, he was like, okay, what's your plan? And I was like, I guess I don't really have a plan. I just want to quit and then figure it out. He's like, that's dumb. You need to have some sort of a plan in place. The smartest thing you can do is, while you're working on someone else's dime and you're making a comfortable paycheck, you work your 9 to 5 to pay the bills. And then you build your dream during the 6 to 10 after hours. right? So he said, in the after hours, that's when you put together a plan. That's when you enact, start building a brand, marketing, and try to get clients to build on the side. And then once you're making money to replace your full-time income, you quit and go all in on that. Ironically enough, a week after I had that phone call with him, they let me go. And I will tell you that was terrifying because it was COVID-19. Companies were getting shut down left and right. And I had no idea where I was going to go. I was out in Sacramento. I'm like, where am I going to live? Where am I going to go? I have no money coming in. So I moved back to Las Vegas. And when I moved there, my father's company also went under. This company made it to the top 3 attractions in all of Las Vegas on TripAdvisor. Astounding reviews. They had a documentary made on them. And my dad spent 5 years of his life trying to build a business that's never been built before. I watched the entire journey unfold before my eyes, all to see it come crashing down. He unfortunately had to liquidate the company because they couldn't afford the overhead, which was well over 6 figures a month, because they had no idea how long the strip was going to be shut down for because of COVID-19. So they bulldozed the entire warehouse. He ended up getting out of the lease. And here's a photo just to really show you and encapsulate the bittersweet essence of an entire era and journey come to an end. So I moved back to Vegas at the same time I lost my job and he had to liquidate his company. And we looked at each other and we said, well, there's nothing holding us here in Vegas anymore. So I'm going to move to Boise. That's what he said. And he said, you can stay here in Vegas or you can come with me. And I was like, well, let's start the slate fresh. So we picked up, moved to Boise, Idaho. Same thing. I had no friends. I didn't know anybody there. Time to start over and try to build a business from nothing. So luckily, unemployment was able to help me over for a few months and pay the bills as I tried to figure out how to start a video agency. I wanted to live a luxurious life. I've always had this goal of wanting nice cars, a super nice house, a beautiful hot wife, right? And I wanted the things that most red pill dudes wanted to have and why they wanted to work so hard. Now, thinking back on it, at the time, my why for wanting to do this was not strong at all. It was very self-centered and it was very surface level. It wasn't deep enough for me to really build anything of substance, anything that would really take me far to achieve the dream outcome that I was looking for. Now, unemployment was running out. I still wasn't making money with my video agency. This is about 3 months after I moved there. I was networking like crazy. I was watching free webinars. I was trying to start on Instagram and build somewhat of a following and try to get leads coming in to pay me even just a few $100s to make a video for them. Now, during this time, I had no choice. I had to make money. I had to pay the bills. I remember looking in my checking account and seeing negative $234 overdrawn, knowing that I had nothing coming into my account, knowing that I had rent coming out and I had a car payment to pay, and I didn't know what I was going to do. I remember calling my dad and I was petrified because I was like, I don't know how I'm going to do this. I don't think I'm good enough. I don't have what it takes. I just need a few $1,000s to hold me over until I can get a job as like a waiter or something. And I remember he told me, no. And my heart dropped. He said, I can't do that for you. And I was like, why? Like, you're my father. You should want to help me and take care of me. And he said, because if I give you money now, it's going to hurt you more than it helps you. Because if I give you money, that tells you you have a safety net. And that would make things more comfortable and easier for you. And you're not going to be able to learn your lesson. And I remember he told me, he said, you can't and you don't achieve success until you have been dragged through shit, you've been kicked in the face, and you fall to your lowest point where you have no choice but to succeed. Then you will find success. And I remember when he told me that, I was equally as petrified as I was motivated. And since then, I have the screenshot. I'll try to find it. I have the screenshot of the text that I sent him. And then he called me and he told me that he's not going to give me the money. That day forward, I put my hood up, I put my head down, and I got to work. At the time, I had massive limiting beliefs. I was not confident. I didn't know how to sell anything. I didn't know what my worth was. All I knew was that I was okay at making cool videos, but I had no idea how to leverage them. I didn't understand the marketplace or how people valued things. I didn't know how to sell, and I didn't know how to put together any sort of an offer that would actually make me money. Now, the worst part is that not only did I not know what to do, but I didn't know that I didn't know. I was unaware of the things that I needed to be aware of in order to actually be successful. I saw all these other people on social media making crazy money, and I just didn't see how I could do the same thing. I thought I was incapable. I was like, well, they all happen to get lucky, or they timed the market, or maybe they have a really good presence on camera, or maybe they were handed money by somebody. They had some sort of special superpower that I just unfortunately didn't have. Another thing that I messed up on was taking advice from too many people. Whenever I would meet someone that seemed like they knew what they were talking about, I would take their advice and I would try to apply it. But unfortunately, I took too much advice from too many people that I began to become overwhelmed, and I didn't really know what steps to take because I was getting conflicting information. One of the biggest lessons that I've learned is at the end of the day, Only take advice from somebody who is exactly where you're at. And if they're not where you want to be, ignore everything they say. Sounds harsh, but guys, if you want to get to success, you want to make anything past 10K a month, scale to 50, 100, you name it, you need to streamline your intake of knowledge. Only listen to those that are where you want to be. Now, I tried working with the wrong people. I tried a bunch of partnerships. I tried teaming up with friends. I tried working with people on a rev share basis and not take anything up front. And too many of these partnerships ultimately led to me getting stabbed in the back. It didn't work out for whatever reason because I failed to properly figure out the type of person that they were. So I wasted thousands of dollars and tons of time and mistakes. And at the end of the day, it's just me. Over the course of a whole year in 2021, I was trying to build this business going from zero to ultimately making 5K a month in recurring revenue. I learned so much. I made so many mistakes. I lost money. I lost time. I got stabbed in the back. July 29th of 2022, I found out that my father had stage 4 follicular lymphoma cancer. And since then, everything in my life shifted. The one person that I was the closest with, the person that mentored me, that made me into the person that I am today, my best friend, I found out in a second might not make it to see the next year. Unfortunately, it took an event like this for me to reconsider everything and put what really mattered into perspective for me. It made me rethink, why was I really doing this? Why am I building a business? Why am I dedicating half of my life to building something? Is it just to make a lot of money? Is it to get nice cars, to have a nice house, for clout, to show things up? Why? That's when I began to find my why. That's when I began to realize I'm doing this to make money so I can help others, so that I can serve others, ultimately to give back, to make this world a better place, to leave a lasting legacy that is completely altruistic in nature. And it wasn't until then things started to click. Things started to shift drastically. Now, fast forward about 6 months ago, he got scanned again. He did everything he should have. He drank crazy juice cleanse. The dude went through chemotherapy. He lost a ton of weight. Now he's completely cancer-free. Unfortunately, it's not gone. It's going to probably come back, so he needs to keep getting checked up. But he has overcome it, and he's okay, and he's healthier than he's been in a while. Nonetheless, the lesson that I learned was that everything we love can be gone in a second. So I worked on being more present. I worked on building my business around my life instead of building my life around my business. I learned that it was possible. I learned that I could build something on my own terms. And that's when everything started to change. So I challenged myself to become the person that I was worthy of becoming, the man that I was supposed to be. The second I let go of what was out of my control, I focused on doing everything that I could control. I focused on the inputs, not the result, not what happened, not making money, but I focused on what can I do to make other people's lives better? And then the money will start to come. So from there, I networked like crazy, trying to scale past 5K a month in recurring revenue with retainer deals. I started implementing systems. I started niching down and working with one specific client, specifically in the info product space. I started working with online coaches and mentors and people that sold programs. That's what I was good at. That's what I loved. It was the education space. I focused on client results and retention. And as I worked more and more with a bunch of different people, I figured out who I loved working with the most. Who did I vibe with and who did I get the best results for? I got really good at direct response and copywriting, helping my clients write ads, VSLs, and any video that would help them make more money, super profitable videos that clients would pay top dollar for. Now, fast forward even further, January of 2023, I had my first $36,000 month, and 30,000 of it was pure profit for me, a 24-year-old kid with no partners, trying to figure this out on his own. It was insane. Since then, I've been able to average about $25,000 a month in my video agency with 80% margins as a single owner and working part-time hours. And most importantly, loving what I do. So that's it. Now I'm on a mission to change the lives of 50 agency owners, to show others just like me that were in the same position how to overcome it and how to live an amazing life, building a business around their life and not their life around their business, finding their why, finding the purpose for them being here and serving others to ultimately make a bunch of money and live the life of their dreams. So if you guys stayed and watched, first of all, thank you. It means a lot. If you haven't yet, make sure you subscribe to the channel. I'm gonna be putting out a ton of videos once a week, showing you how to scale your video agency and build a profitable business. See you guys in the next video.